Yeah, you know what time it is, man. Homegrownradio.net. One more again. Yeah, who that is? Chuck Dizzle, DJ Head.
Bliss.
What it do though?
Smoky Lane.
Chuck Dizzle, DJ Head.
Yeah.
Dom Kennedy in the house with us.
Dom Kennedy in here taking ideas and shit and running with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
I want my cut.
By Dom Kennedy. It's available right now, man. How do you feel like this album particularly is separate or different than, you know, your two previous album cuts and then the mixtapes that came before that?
I think just attention to detail, man. That's what I could say most. You know, a lot of artists probably and just being a fan of things and watching, you know, people compare what they do to this, do that. I don't really get into that or look at it that way even because they all different. You know, it's like I look at it more so like that was this story, this story. You know what I'm saying? But I think as a writer and as an artist, just the attention to detail, you know what I mean? Attention to detail, just, you know, it's inspiring, you know, still to put out music and see the response and do shows and, you know, go overseas and things like that and just seeing people out there. And then when I come back to do music and put my album together, it just make me want to put that much more into it. So with this one, I would say just attention to detail. You know, I'm glad at a certain point too, it's like you make a lot of songs because you can't really, I've made a lot of songs now, you know? So I can't just talk about nothing or just come out with, you know, for songs for no reason or just, you know what I mean? I don't want to waste nobody's time at all. So it's like I get a little smarter with it. I expand the music, and then as a writer, I just go in with a little bit more detail. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say on top of that, you've been living more too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
That's what I was gonna touch on too. What's the biggest like inspiration behind the by Dom Kennedy album?
The biggest inspiration was me.
No, I'm saying like, is it something that? I mean, did you just record a bunch of songs and was like, okay, this is the project out of these?
Nah,
it was
not
a cohesive.
At all. I never do that. Yeah, I put.
So when the cohesiveness,
I make songs in the timeline, and it's like from this day to this day, that's the school year, you know, and package that.
Okay.
You know, so it's like.
But I think you've always made albums like that.
Yeah, I do for sure because as I'm working, I kind of can feel like this is this point, this is this point, this is I'm at the middle. I need to,
So while you doing that in that process, do you sequence the album as you go? So it's like, okay, this is the beginning, this is the middle, this is
sometimes
the end.
No, because you really can't. You just a free spirit. But what you could do is like, for instance, like once I got 9 songs, but I don't have anything that like starts it off. You know, like I didn't have the first song "Daddy" till later in the project. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I got a lot of these good songs, and then you know, one night you just feeling it, write something. Boom, come out with that. I'm like, yo, I think I'm going to switch it around. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I like how this feels just to kick it off. So I might do something like that. But again, it's all in the context of the same story, though. Right. You know? It's all in the context of the same story.
Now, we do something called the business card track, man.
Yeah.
And what that is what song do you feel like is the best representation of Dom Kennedy right now that's on the
business card track?
Like if you was to walk up and hand somebody an MP3 business card, what song would best represent this? This time
I would say Too Bad and Represent on the B side. Like I feel like that's like a good A and the B side for this project. It's obviously a lot of different songs on there, but I feel like for a universal artist, if I just didn't know nobody and I was like boom, had an A side of Too Bad and a B side of Represent, like they will understand me for sure.
Too Bad, where does that come from?
Too Bad?
Yeah, like talk about the song.
The song, I mean, that's Mike and Keys, Futuristics. They did a lot of songs on Get Home Safely. You know what I'm saying? Like 12 joints on Get Home Safely. Like I work with them closest I work with any producer I ever worked with. Spent a lot of time with them working, talking about music, just sharing a passion for music, rap in particular. That song was just the beat, man. I just love that. I always wanted to make a song like that, and I feel like it's so fly and smooth, but it has like great rap rhythm and drums to it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then when I wrote that one, I just, it's kind of like sometimes it's like a blur a little bit. Sometimes it might flow nice, but then as I listened to it, I was like, it just feel different.
You feel right.
It just feel different. Every time I would come back to it and listen to it and play it, I just love how it felt. And then I loved every time I listened to it, I like what I was saying, you know, the whole time consistently. Like I just felt like I was in the zone with that one. And Tish Hyman, you know, she did the hook.
Shout out to her.
Yeah, shout out to Tish. She did the hook, you know, and when I heard it, it wasn't really a hook like that, you know what I'm saying? But she had the little idea with the too bad. I heard the too bad. And it just instantly, yeah. I heard the too bad part, and I was like, I love it, you know. And I asked them if I could add something to it, you know, because it was just an idea that she had, and they wasn't really planning on doing nothing with it. And I was like, man, I could rap on that. I could rap on that. You know what I'm saying?
Shit, y'all not gonna do nothing with it.
Yeah, like I could rap on that for real.
Hometown is one of my hometown. That's like my joint off the album.
Hometown, yeah.
That's like one of my favorite. Like I told y'all that when I heard it before everybody heard it. I was like, yo, this is my shit. Yeah. So like, what's that about? I mean, I know, but for the people that don't know, that don't have the album yet, talk about my hometown.
On my hometown,
man.
Quest,
shout out all the homies. I was like, damn.
That was one where it's like, okay, again, I mean, I've done a lot of songs now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like a guy that nobody knows. Like, I could do it. You know, people know, like, about me, you know, and general information. So it's like, okay, how could I obviously, it's no secret I love LA. That's a part of my music. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's a part of who I am. So it's like, at this point, how could I do that without even doing that? That's what it's really about. You know, how do you get that off? Be you without even having to, you know? And it's like, without saying LA, Los Angeles, what's another way of doing that? On my hometown. And then again, it's like I recognize it's just a maturation process, you know, because other people could use it. It's like me shouting out my hometown without even having to shout out my hometown. Exactly. Yeah. So that's Jay Pounds. That's just me and Jay Pounds. Yeah, for sure. So that's me and Jay Pounds in the studio, just vibing, man, and that's how it felt. And Jay Pounds did When I Come Around, which was a dope record that I really love when I wrote it in the same type of way that I put on that came out on From the West Side with Love Too. That at the time I was like, man, this is so West Coast, but I love it. But I don't know if people gonna like it. And then at the time, I remember I put it out, and it was like, you know how it was. But now people love it and consider it one of my best songs, right? So it kind of make a song like Hometown a little bit easier and a little bit better to do. Yeah, exactly. It kind of like those kind of songs broke ground for like me to be able to do like on my hometown, you know?
Now, that's not one of the records you passed on, because I remember you mentioned in one of the records that I passed on this record at first, I think it was Jay Pound.
Oh, yeah, on Represent. Yeah. Exactly. That's the first thing I say, yep. And that's because that's true. And it's like I did that just to, you know, I said that just not even thinking that people would pick up on that. But it's so obvious that they would, because it's the first thing I say. But honestly, I don't even think about it like that. I said that to say, like, you know, just to get me started. Yeah. I guess, you know what I'm saying? Like, after the third time hearing the beat, it was so hard to me.
It's like, damn, I wasn't even gonna
fuck
with
the first time, it was like, damn, exactly. It was that feeling, and it was, I never really heard nobody say that. Like, and I know that as an artist, that happens to you before, so it's like, why everybody come on the beat like they loved it, or like it was just they recorded it falling out the shower every time. You know what I'm saying? Nobody never say, like, you know, and that was real. That was real. That was honest. That was real, you know what I'm saying? And that was real, and me being honest at that moment allowed me to write the whole rest of the song.
You know what I respect about it? I think I told you this one night we was in the studio. We was at your spot. Yeah. And I was like, you like one of the most honest people rapping. Yeah. Like you say straight up, what the fuck is going on? Like, if you didn't have no money, you said, I ain't got no fucking money. You know what I'm saying? Like, even going back to From the West Side with Love, it was a song in there that talked about some shit like that. It talks about like the chicks that used to be around. It talk about like you like buying discount shit. Like, you talk about all that shit, and people don't talk about that type of shit. Like, they come out of the uterus with everything. Niggas got chains.
I mean, you could work
cars,
past it.
Boats,
like I said, exactly. Yeah, you could work past it. Like, you know what I mean? If you just keep it real a lot of times, you know, it's like, it's cool. It's temporary. You know, the pain of it is only temporary. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's all good. I'm looking to come up. Because every time I do it, I'm never in that position again. Right. You know what I mean?
Smarter.
So it's
you
like,
get smarter.
Yeah, so it's real. It's just something I just do, you know? Again, like how I said on the song, Passed on His Beat, when I first heard it, now it's murder. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because that's how I felt. That's how I felt.
What's some of the things that you gotta have in the studio when you're creating? Is there a particular vibe that you gotta have when you actually create?
Knock chompers. You know what I'm saying? I just need some beats, knock chompers. You know, we be smoking if we smoking. We don't really drink too much. I don't drink too much because a lot of times I'll be by myself or like, you know, it just be a couple people. It ain't we ain't trying to drink. We just smoke up though. You know what I mean? Knock chompers. I'm real like these days with the studio. It's real. It's either like we making a beat or I'm writing a song. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, sometimes we do both, but it's like we work on the music, then I take as much and try to put it into, you know, my end of it, like making it come to life.
Where do you work best?
Where do I work best?
Is it in the studio? Because some people write their shit in the shower. Some people write their shit on the toilet.
Nah, in the studio. It don't really matter. I done did role verses everywhere, man. I done seen a booth, in the car, in the living room. You know what I'm saying? I used to, before I could even afford to have a studio or was really paying for studio time all the time, and I was just rapping, I would just have the beats on CD and put it on my PC, you know, and listen and just sit there and write. That's how I wrote 25th Hour. Damn. A lot of everything I wrote on 25th. That's what I'm saying. That's why nobody can't tell me, like, you can't do something or it's not possible, because, like, dog, I didn't even record. You know, I would just practice it all week, every little thing I had to know, like, what I wanted to double, what I wanted to ad-lib, even before, you know, because I knew, like, all right, I got 4 hours. Yeah. You know what I mean? I might have 1 of 5 songs I want to do. You know what I mean? So I got 4 hours. So it's like, I'm not in the studio just kicking it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You're never on a mission.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a little different for me starting out, but that was good because it's like now I took it. You know, it's like it's on our watch, it's on my watch now if I'm just hanging out the studio, but I didn't really come from that luxury of, like, you know, just being able to hang out, and be at the studio. So I understand, like, I could do anything and it won't bother me. Like I could write it at the house, I could do whatever. It's just
13 years old on the yacht with Diddy.
recording.
That wasn't my story. Yeah, exactly. I feel you. That's what I'm saying. That wasn't me. You know what I mean? With the 10 people waiting on you, like, that wasn't me. You know what I'm saying?
All right, man. More with Dom Kennedy coming up. Y'all stay tuned. It's homegrownradio.net, bringing radio back to its roots.
Label or no label. Major label or no label. It's because it's not no different. Again, that's on the art. That's your personal choice. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? As an artist, like, don't matter that, you know, Ty Dolla $ign on the Atlantic. Like, if I got a beat and I think he gonna do his thing and I know he gonna like it, I'm gonna shoot it to him.
homegrownradio.net